Just footsteps east of a cross-border bridge between San Diego and Tijuana lies another cross-border construction, one that runs under instead of over the border fence. This is an exit to a drug tunnel. Cartels built it to smuggle things like pot and cocaine into the U.S. But it was never finished. U.S. federal agencies found it first.
We're here at the U.S.-Mexico border fence. Right on the other side of this fence is where the entrance to the drug tunnel was. You can actually see a structure over there, and inside of that structure, there was a bathroom where the floor functioned as a sort of elevator. Basically, the floor of the bathroom went up and down into the tunnel.
We're about to go underground with Lance Lenoir, captain of the Border Patrol's Tunnel Rats. They're the ones who explore the tunnels found on the U.S. side.
What we do is assess the tunnel, characterize it, go in, pull out evidence, map it, get rid of it.
By get rid of it, he means they plug it with cement. But this one, named the Galvez Tunnel, was left partly intact to train the tunnel rats. There are three main types of tunnels. Interconnecting tunnels link with existing storm drains and sewer lines. Rudimentary tunnels, known as gopher holes, are small, maybe 50 feet long. They're used mostly for human smuggling. Finally, there's sophisticated tunnels. Those can stretch for more than half a mile. They can have lighting, ventilation, and railway systems for moving large volumes of drugs. Most of the sophisticated tunnels found along the border have been centered around San Diego. That's because there's so many warehouses in Otay Mesa, a perfect area to disguise entry and exit points. Galvez was a sophisticated tunnel. The tunnel rats and I get ready for the descent.
Yeah, I don't mind if you want to do it real tight.
Yeah, so if you happen to slip, but you don't see it happening, it just catch you under your arms.
We head into the tunnel.
So if I fall, it'll catch me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either that will or I will.
Okay, sounds good.
It's just a ladder.
All right.
Nothing difficult.
The tunnel has a depth of about 90 feet. It's 6 feet high and 4 feet wide and relatively easy to move around.
But as you can see, we can stand up here. It's a pretty big tunnel. It's pretty comfortable, although it is hot and humid in here.
The tunnel includes lights and ventilation. It used to have a rail system for transporting drugs more easily, but Border Patrol took that out. Lenoir shows me where they plugged up the south side of the tunnel.
Basically just a steel plate and some sandbags in there supporting it in there to stop the backflow of concrete. Behind that is a lot of concrete.
Tool marks along the wall show the tunnel was made with a mere hammer drill, despite its sophistication.
What kind of tool was used to make this?
Just pure manual labor, blood, sweat, and tears.
Nearly 200 cross-border drug tunnels have been found since 1990, when the U.S. started building the existing border fence.
The more sophisticated and elaborate our border infrastructure has become, the more the smugglers have upped their game.
David Shirk of the Transborder Institute says large criminal organizations like the Sinaloa cartel are building the big tunnels and going as far as consulting with top engineers in Europe to perfect the architecture.
And they have every incentive to do so. If it costs $1 million or $2 million to produce a tunnel like that, they can make that back on the first run.
They're getting smaller.
Back at the Galvez tunnel, Lenoir says tunnels are getting much harder to detect because cartels are making them much smaller. To find the tunnels, Border Patrol currently relies on leads from informants, people who perhaps notice the jackhammer sounds of construction or large piles of dirt.
We got to bring that technology piece. Right now, it's lacking. I mean, we're talking about a niche problem in here that's not really, does have any parallel to the commercial or industry standard.
Border Patrol does use sensor technology, but it's not easy to detect the tunnels. The sensors can get thrown off for several reasons, including surface clutter and noise, such as from trucks driving by. There's also radio and electromagnetic interference. And lastly, the geology, made up of porous, sandy, and rocky land, also makes it hard for Border Patrol to form a picture of what's underground. Lenoir says he doesn't know if plans to expand current border fencing will increase or decrease tunneling. But the cartels keep getting more creative in making their tunnels. And Lenoir says he wants to make sure the U.S. gets more creative in finding them. Jean Guerrero, KPBS News.